Was this one worth our time?
Yes,
The,
it's a little bit mind-numbing in certain areas, but it was overall enjoyable.
the story lacked. I think the story really.
And the story was very, very secondary.
Oh yeah.
The story was very, very secondary.
The story just it's like they didn't. I don't know. It's like they just didn't try.
No, the story was just there because it was necessary. It wasn't there to enhance the game.
You know what the best game was for story so far? The best like brawler beat 'em up game. Um,
For story?
mhm.
No, what?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that was.
They actually took Dungeons and Dragons, and we've did this one. We had a review on Chronicles of Mystaria a long time ago.
Uh,
I kept calling it Mystaria,
uh,
but but yeah, in that one they took and what they did was they said, okay, we're gonna take an actual D&D campaign and put it together. Now before that, there was Streets of Rage 3, which actually had branching paths, which was like, dang, you could do that on the Genesis. And so there was it wasn't vast branching paths, but it was basically that there were some decent paths that you could take depending on the if you had the game on too easy, if you cheated, different things. No, seriously.
I believe
So it
you.
was kind of cool. And yeah, Angelo, it was tragic death for him, but
A tragic death.
he deserved it. For the crap he put us through, he deserved it.
He's bringing the end to all the world. We just saw the beginning. This game is like a prologue to an epic. That's what this game is.
It is. It's like Trine 3. Because Trine 3 blew.
Oh, Train 3 sucked. I
Yes,
mean, the game itself wasn't bad. The sucky part was it just suddenly ended. I mean, it was beautiful, it was fairly well done, and then suddenly it just ended. And there
Poof.
were no, like, side games or anything. They had this cool game board setup that they could have made a little mini game out of, and they didn't even do that. It just ended.
Poof. Gone. Done.
I mean, it was like
No
8
more.
levels or something. It was horrible. Why? Why even release an unfinished game?
I hate it when they do that. When they like another one that felt unfinished was Wolf the Red Hood.
Oh, and there was also what was it? Fairy, I think it was. It was a
Fairy.
it
Yep.
was a role player.
Faery.
I really liked it, but they only did half the game. I mean, literally, they set it up like they were going to continue the game, and then they just never did.
And it had Oberon and non
Yeah,
yeah non-traditional.
it had all sorts of stuff.
It
It
had it had
just
non-traditional characters which
no,
actually
no.
were
It had very traditional characters, just not
but
well known in America.
not the mainstream ones. Because yeah, it was Oberon. It was
It
um
was Oberon and Titiana,
yep. And
which are the traditional fairy um, king and queen, or however.
see, I would absolutely love for you to play through that game and do your own review sometime. I know it's not your thing.
But it was so disappointing because they have like this hall of mirrors, and you have to put these mirrors back together. There's literally you only go through like 3 of them, and that's it. And then they have all these different types of armors and different types of stuff that you put together, and different this and different that, but you only, and it makes it look like you're going to keep going throughout the game so that you can get more pieces, and then the game just suddenly ends. It just stops.
And that's really sad when they
And
do
I'm
that
like,
stuff.
it's not fair.
Well, there's two things that really
It was a turn-based RPG is what it is.
yeah, there's two things that really bug me. One of them is is when a game is far too short. That was the problem I had with Torin, which Torin was beautiful.
Torin?
It was the one where you're the little girl climbing the tower to defeat the dragon. The
Yes.
whole game could be beaten in 2 hours, but it was made by a Brazilian team. The mythology behind it was the imagery is a little disturbing because like every time she's reborn, she's like covered in the blood of her previous life,
Huh.
which is kind of
Creepy a little bit.
creepy a little bit, but very artistic is what I would say. And she basically climbs this tower to slay this dragon, and I don't remember the end of it, but it was very artistic the way they did everything about it, and I thought it was a really good game. Just they were asking $15 for a 2-hour game.
Yeah, that's just
That's no, that's a little bit
At
too.
least put some
That's not
filler
enough for
in
me.
it. I
Um,
mean, that's like asking $15 for a book that you can for a 30-page book. At least
Yeah.
add 50 more pages to make it an actual book and not a pamphlet.
exactly, and I have issues with that. But then you get games that are exuberantly long, and I'm not saying how do I put this? Elder Scrolls games I'm okay with because those are it's not the length of them that matters, but they basically say, okay, here's an open world, have at it. You can actually beat Elder Scrolls. I think Skyrim, somebody found you could beat in 8 hours, maybe 10, something like that.
If you don't get lost.
If you don't get lost. But there's so much to do that you can spend forever in the base game, and then when you add onto it everything else, you can just keep spending more and more and more money. More and more and more and more time, actually, is what I meant to say. But yeah, more and more money, too.
Time is money.
Yeah, time is money. Um, but then you get games like the Final Fantasy games. Those were exuberantly long and
Mostly because
grinding.
it was absolutely necessary that you grind. Like, you could not go through that game without grinding, and the grinding took for freaking ever. I
No.
hated grinding.
No, actually, no. Final Fantasy VIII did it very well because if you strategically used your draws, you didn't need to worry about grinding. So if you strategically drew the right magic, junctioned it to your armor and everything correctly, then you wouldn't have to worry about grinding. It's just once you get your fill of magic that you've drawn, you're just ready to go at it. And you could take down the game. And as soon as I figured out how to junction my magic, I just burned through most of it. I couldn't tell where I was because I was playing on PC, but based on the story, I found out I was actually on like disc 3 if I would have been playing it as on PS1. Wow.
What about Legends of Dragoon?
Legend of Dragoon, I think it was a little shorter, and it took, I want to say, 30 hours to beat.
Yeah, but that was another one where you had to grind.
You had to grind, yes, and
And
grinding
that's
sucked.
actually why I never finished the game. I couldn't find the time to actually take the time to grind.
Oh, the end was, I liked the end. It was
It was a beautiful game. I loved it, but I never actually finished it because I couldn't find the time to grind.
it was a very underappreciated RPG.
I agree. I spent literally like 8 hours one day straight playing through it.
I would like to see a remastered HD edition of Legend of Dragoon.
With the same soundtrack, though, because that soundtrack was
That
epic.
was excellent. That was, yeah. Legend of Dragoon proved that you didn't have to be Squaresoft to put forth a really good RPG, or what they call RPG but aren't really. Which, by the way, it's a misnomer. You know that?
What?
They call like Final Fantasy and stuff like that RPGs, but they're not RPGs.
I know they're not RPGs, and I never thought they were RPGs, and that's why I didn't call them RPGs for the longest time, but everyone calls them RPGs, so I did it for ease of conversation.
Ease of conversation, yeah.
Because they're not RPGs, because it's not really a role-playing game.
No.
It's like a video game based on a role-playing game,
Yeah.
but it's not a role-playing game.
Well, the funny one is you know what is a role-playing game?
What?
Deus Ex.
I love how you enunciate that so clearly.
I have to, otherwise people think I'm saying something else.
But you
But-
would have thought when they named that game, they would think that part through.
No, they were trying to go Latinate.
Yes.
Deus
They still should
ex
have thought
meaning
that part through.
Deus ex meaning absence of God.
I understand what it means.
Hmm.
They should have thought the phonetics through.
I,
They should have thought the phonetics through.
I got that. I got that. Um,
One of the first things you learn in marketing. Think about how people are going to perceive what you're advertising. I mean, that shouldn't have made it past, like, the initial cutting board, and yet it made it all the way to be published.
well, it made it all the way to published, and we're in the 5th game actually coming up.
Because it's an awesome game.
Because it's, well, and it is an RPG because you actually grow your own character, you tailor your character. That is an RPG, even though it wrongly gets classified by people as a first-person shooter.
Well, it is. It's sort of a first-person shooter RPG
It's
combo.
a first-person RPG, yeah, yeah. And then another one, of course, is like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls.
Well, yeah.
Those are RPGs. Um,
WoW.
no, WoW is not an RPG.
It is.
No,
It's a mega multiplayer online game, but it is an RPG.
It
It's
is
an
not.
RPG MMO.
what role are you playing?
What do you mean, what role? You tailor each of your characters to however you want.
But just because you tailor a character to how you play does not make it a role-playing game because you are not necessarily playing the role of that character in the world around.
Yes, you are.
No. Okay, if you want to take it that step, you could say that Mario is a role-playing game
No,
because
because
you're taking the role of Mario.
you don't tailor Mario.
You do by picking up certain items throughout the and
No.
then trying to
No,
preserve.
it doesn't work that way with WoW.
Well, you could certainly make that statement, but
WoW is very much a RPG. WoW is like
Wow.
like the game is your dungeon master, and you play with a whole group of people, and I mean it's very much an RPG-ish game.
okay. Touche. Good point. However, um, I think we'll have to agree to disagree because I could see this going back and forth quite a bit longer.
Another video, husband and wife debate. Is WoW an RPG MMO or a basic MMO?
Well, no. What aspects of it make it an MMO? I mean, for something to actually be, it is an MMO, but for something to actually be an RPG, you have to be able to take a character, tailor the character, and you have to play the role of that character in the world around them. What generally is associated with RPGs is the ability for your actions as that character to have a greater effect to the world around them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something where like Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars, that was an excellent RPG, and it was done very much in the style of tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, even down to the way the fighting works. I could almost see the D6 rolls, even though it's built around a D20 system. And then another one I have, but I haven't played yet. Well, I've played it. I just haven't played past the first couple areas.
What?
Is Jade Empire, which is based on the same thing, and it's an Eastern, I want to say Kung Fu Panda-ish.
You have Kung Fu Panda on the brain.
That was actually a really good movie.
It was, especially for a third movie.
For a third movie, usually third movies suck.
I think it's better than the second one.
I think we could do away with the second one.
You could, really. But the third one is, I think, better than... the second one wasn't horrible or anything. It's just the third was a lot more epic.
The third one, I would say it's more than just being more epic. I'd say the third one, it picks up loose ends from the first one. It picks up loose ends from the second one. And it's like Back to the Future 3. It wraps up your loose ends.
Except it was better than Back to the Future 3. Even though I like Back to the Future 3. I like Back to the Future 3, but I've never claimed that it was a great movie. Just that I like it.
Fair enough. But yeah, I did like it. I thought, like I said, it did a great job of wrapping everything up. It really, without giving anything away, it really shows you how Oogway in the first one saw Poe when he looked at him and said that he is the Dragon Master.
Warrior, Dragon Warrior, not
Or
the Dragon Master.
oh, Dragon Master is that game.
I was gonna
No,
say wrong, wrong.
no, Dragon Warrior was the game too.
Yeah, Dragon Master, yeah, wrong, wrong.
No,
thing.
he's the Dragon Warrior. He's the Kung Fu Panda, which that was an awesome series, and I wish they would have kept that going too.
Yeah, I did. Our kids really
Oh,
enjoy that series.
yeah, it was actually that one was a good series because it did what it needed to. I mean, it's like Penguins of Madagascar. It's Nickelodeon seems to be able to take some of those DreamWorks and make them into decent series. Some
I
of them.
thought you hated Penguins of Madagascar.
I do, but
But
I'm somewhat coming around. Somewhat. Actually, I've grown more attached to King Julian and all his asinine.
What about that little fluffy furry thing? Hamster posing as a lemur.
Oh,
Mort?
Is that
isn't
Mort?
it? Yeah, I think it's Mort.
the Dread Pirate Mort. That was awesome. Well, and when you find out he was the Dread Pirate Mort at one point, that's like, oh my gosh.
It's like, the people writing this are just having too much fun.
They had too much fun with Mort. He's creepy.
Yes, he is creepy. He's creepy and cute. How they combine those two successfully, I will never know, but they did.
Yeah, creepy and cute. He's like the guy who will stand outside your window breathing heavily, but somehow the cuteness makes it acceptable. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about right.
How does that even work? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Oh man. I think like I said, Kung Fu Panda 3, good rep to the series. I would recommend it. 2 thumbs up on that.
The animation quality was really good too.
Oh, it was much better than the last 2. That you can tell they stepped up the game.
The animation quality is really good. There's good character development. The storyline moved along
Who
at
got
an
character
appropriate
development?
pace.
Besides Poe, who got character? I guess to a lesser arc, Poe's father got some development.
Uh-huh.
You know.
But all the
duck.
all the pandas sort of got character development.
Okay.
It was like a generalized character development, but they all sort of got some character development. Even Tigress got a little bit of character development.
Okay, you'll have to unfurl that one a little bit without giving spoilers.
I'm not sure that's possible.
I
Well,
think
by the okay, Tigress was her usual self at the beginning. By the end, she has a little baby panda attached to her constantly.
I thought you were gonna say how she does actually see Poe as the Dragon Master by the end.
Well, yeah, but
And
no.
she comes to realize
No, I was talking about Tigress within herself.
Dragon Master, Dragon Warrior.
Outside of Poe.
Yeah.
No, like by the end, she has a little cute little baby panda, and that's around with her all the time, and she's interacting happily with it.
She's not standoffish as like
Exactly.
So yeah, there was some character growth there. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it was good.
So.
Yeah, it was good.
And how it ended was cool too. Like.
It wasn't even bittersweet. It was just sweet.
Yeah, it was. And how, like I said, how it ended, it wasn't totally expected.
The bad guy didn't get much screen time though, as far as what you think he would have.
No, but how it ended, how he got defeated, wasn't like.
No, that was good.
That's insane, but it wasn't like. It wasn't totally. You're like, oh yeah, I knew that was coming. It was like, oh, that's really cool. I like how they did that.
Well, I like how the
And he kept his goofy personality even as improving and becoming a master.
Yeah, I do like how at the end, you know, in the in the trailers and everything, they make it look like he finishes off the bad guy one way, and it's totally, the trailers are misleading. I'm not going to tell you how he finishes off the bad guy, but it was definitely,
It was artfully done.
yeah, definitely artfully done. And I thought it really did get artistic, the final battle.
It did. The final battle was very artistic. That's one of the things I liked about it.
That
it
actually
was very cool.
Well, that actually is almost something that I'd be like, man, I could totally see some of those screenshots being really awesome, like desktops, wallpapers,
Yeah,
stuff
backgrounds.
like that. Backgrounds. We're probably going to see a lot of deviant art and stuff like that
Yeah.
from Kung Fu Panda 3. Because yeah, the end was very
And it was artistic. Way like the other two were fun. The first one was fun and typical art. I mean, typical art for a children's movie. This one actually had some artistic flair to it, and I like it. So I mean, if they managed to come up with a decent plot for a fourth one,
you got to be careful
if
with that.
they did it in the same style and had the same, and it was the same quality as this one, I would watch it. However, I doubt that that's possible. With the way they wrapped this up and did it, I don't expect them to be able to come up with a decent plot for another one.
The probability of it is very low. Yeah, you'd be better off.
And if anyone from DreamWorks is hearing this and they say challenge accepted, I say go for it. But I have low expectations.
I say no. I say resurrect the series. The series would be better at this point.
Actually, they could totally just reopen the series with him and all the like Panda Village and stuff as new characters.
Exactly.
And like the rebuilding of the Jade Palace and all that stuff.
Exactly. But yeah, and Shifu goes through his own little arc too.
Yep.
Because he realizes that Po is no longer his incompetent
The student has surpassed the teacher.
Well, he realizes that Po is no longer the incompetent student. Po actually has much to teach, and so
He actually says the line, "The student has truly surpassed the teacher."
yeah.
So,
So yeah. Altogether, I mean, it was really.
but I'm not going to tell you how he surpassed.
No. You have to see the movie. We're not going to tell you too much, but.
We're skirting some edges right here.
we're trying not to. Yeah. Don't want to pull like some people and just totally ruin it for y'all, but.
We should
definitely.
just make this another video.
You know what? I should just section this off and post this, publish this separate. Random chat, random post game chat.
We should just make a review on Kung Fu Panda 3 or something.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we could.
I'd be game for that. All right. Well, anyway, we are going to end this stream for the evening. If you're here for the extended edition, thanks for continuing to watch. Moralgamer, as always, subscribe and support link below helps us out. Make your purchases through Amazon through that support link. We get a small percentage, which is great.
A very small percentage. So
That's
the more you do it, the more help it is.
Yeah, the more people do it, the better. I've been thinking about doing a Patreon, but I don't know about Patreon yet. I mean, the thing is do you ask for money or no? Do you ask for money? At least with Amazon, if you're already ordering something, you can just say okay, and then we go like that. Versus Patreon, it's directly give me money, and I'm just kind of like. It's not that I'm too proud to. It's just that right now I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I necessarily want to start the direct money train. It's good to have a hobby, and if you make a little money off of it, yeah.
What is that, Gwen Vereen?
Yeah, Gwen Vereen is still my backdrop.
Is that how they made her name?
Yep, Gwen Vereen is still my backdrop.
Gwenpool's better.
Oh, Gwenpool is far better, but we'll discuss that in another video. Thanks, everyone. We will catch